we can learn things and move on. I guess that's what I want to say. It's like, we don't have to stick around and teach our teachers how to treat us. That's like the big takeaway for me is like, why would we? I mean, I get that it would be wonderful if we all stood in a circle and we were in a united front as this person had their, but it's like, this person isn't treating us
Right.
properly,
Right.
consistently. And again, I'll allow for their humanity. And when I offer reflection, they're not interested in it. So why? And I think this is so key, especially for folks in the org, is like, everything that you've learned and embodied belongs to you. There is a 3-letter word that does not belong to you. That's it. That's it. Everything else is yours. You have earned it. You've paid for it in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your body. It's in your heart, your mind, your soul. It belongs to you and you can use it. And so if you leave, you are not losing all of that. That's what's indoctrinating. That's why I call it indoctrination. It's like, oh, it's such a strong word. It's like, it's indoctrinating because the belief that it doesn't belong to you is a lie. And one of the things that Robert Jay Lifton, who's back in the day cult researcher, like one of the pioneers, he has his eight criteria for like these types of high demand environments, like things that contribute to mind control. And one of them is creating a sacred silence. Taking tools and combining them into a language and pitching it as though it's a sacred science. And the only way to have access to that sacred science is through the founder, the creator, the top of the hierarchy. It's the only way it pours down through the center. And the only way you can gain access to the sacred science is to stay connected to that. And I am calling bullshit on that. It's not true. And whether you think of the org as a mystical energy or not, that's not even what I'm talking about. Because the thing is when you separate, it's not a mystical energy if when you leave, it leaves you. I'm sorry, but that isn't anything that I would call divine.
Yeah.
And that can't belong to somebody. And if you don't frame it that way, which I happen to not, even more so, it's just knowledge that you've embodied. And you get to use it outside of that space as much as you want. And you don't have to, again, aside from the 3-letter word, you don't have to give credit. You don't have to, especially given that in this particular instance, a lot of those teachings were taken from a lot of different other places. So if you really wanted to dig around, you could give credit to the original source, right? Like this whole idea of the source is part of what keeps people stuck. And they think that they are not going to have a livelihood. They're not going to have this, that, and the other if they leave, because it all belongs to this one fountainhead. And I happen to not believe that that's true.